kicking us off tonight is Giuseppe Lanzone. It's very exciting because modeling for Ralph Lauren wasn't enough for him. He decided, and also being a two-time Olympic rower, he also went on to establish DC's famous Peruvian food trucks. So you might have heard of him if you're a foodie. Him and his brother established what's known as Peruvian Brothers, and they're constantly busy. I was speaking with him today, and he's been on the go since 8 a.m., but he did say that today, this is his highlight for the day, so we're very excited to have him. And Giuseppe and his brother were born and raised off the coast of Lima, Peru, in a close-knit community called La Punta, surrounded by family and ocean. The only time they did not spend in the ocean was spent feasting on fresh food prepared by loving hands, so straight out of paradise. And when developing Peruvian Brothers, Giuseppe and Mario wanted to give DC not only delicious Peruvian ingredients and flavors, but also a unique piece of their heritage. And so as we learned in our last storytelling night on food and immigration, food can connect us to ourselves and to others. It can act as a means to share and root ourselves in our identities. And so tonight, Giuseppe will be sharing with us more about his shared passion with his brother, and so how food has connected him to his brother and to people around DC, and all of that in the theme of relationships. Thank you.
Good evening. Wow, this is a great place. Thank you so much for having me. Guys, you putting this event together for immigrants and non-immigrants, just to share a story and to give, I guess, hope and a different view on coming to the States, coming to America, like the movie. Funny story about this place, by the way, guys. This has a lot of stories. I had my first date with my wife that is back there, next door. So it worked out. I will try to do my best to summarize my last 21 years in the US in 7 minutes, so hang tight. My mother and my father wanted us to come here back in 1997, obviously, because things in South America, especially in Peru, were not good. Whether it was the guerrilla with bombing, not having electricity, whether it was the economy of Peru completely tanking, whether it was just everything in Peru that you always dream for just going downhill. My mother, which is also back there, also one of my #1 fans, thank you, decided to get up and move to the US, the land of the dreams, So it was October 5th, 1997. You always remember the day that you moved to a different country. I moved from a small mid-community right on the beach of Peru, where I would leave my house with 30 cents, which 30 cents of a dollar back then, a pair of shorts, and maybe a key if I had one, and just go spend the day with my friends, come back, had lunch, then go out again, play soccer, surf, sail, water ski, whatever you can think of that was a lot of fun, and a beach town. That was where I grew up. 14 years, almost 15 years of living that, and then I moved to McLean, Virginia. Back in 1997, no car, not a lot of friends. So it was a shock. The first 6 months was a lot of fun. And then all of a sudden it's like, oh wow, I have no friends. Good thing I have a really, really strong family that helped me through everything. Fast forward, I got here when I was a freshman in high school. And then I got into sports, and that's what I like to do. At first I started playing football. My sophomore year, then my junior year, I was lucky enough to be picked up from football practice from back then. My coach, mentor, friend, his name is Jim Mitchell. He unfortunately couldn't make it today. He just recently had open heart surgery, so he just couldn't make it tonight. But because of him, he was the one that came home fall of my junior year and actually talked to my parents. I remember like it was yesterday, and said, your son could go to the Olympics one day. And I was like, yeah, sure. So, he supported me. He had a family that was really behind me. I had my friends that were really behind me. And I had him as a relationship part of this whole talk. how one person was able to shape me the way things turn out for me in my life. Because of him, and because of him pushing me to excel as an athlete, whether it was coming to the boathouse here in Thompson's where I learned how to row at 4:30 in the morning in the middle of the winter, and just remember him, like his whole face having ice because it was so cold, having to wear 3 or 4 layers of clothing because, you know, we wanted to win. For him, there was no losing, there was only winning, and he implemented that in my head from the time that I was 16 years old. I was lucky, fortunate enough to get a full scholarship at the University of Washington in Seattle to go there and go row. So I ended up going there for 4 years. I would come back every summer here and row with him. After 4 years of rowing at the University of Washington, I became a resident, and then I became a citizen. And then I was able to represent the U.S. Olympic team. First, just to rewind a little bit, just for people that get stressed because of paperwork and getting their status upright. I made the U.S. team without being an actual citizen. So then after I made the team, they took me out of the team because I was not actually a U.S. citizen, so I couldn't really represent the U.S. at the first World Championships in 2006 in England. 3 days before the team left for the World Championships, Jim, we'll go back to Jim, he calls me up, he's like, listen, I made a couple moves here with the governor of Virginia. I got your paperwork to be expedited. You need to come from Princeton, New Jersey, where I used to live, training with the team, back to Virginia, drive all the way here, take the test, swear in. The next day I had to go get my passport, and then the following day I was with the airplane, with the team, heading to England for the 2006 World Championships, where we came out with a bronze medal. Thank you. We were looking for gold, but bronze is good too. Anyways, after that, Jim stayed really close to me, coming to every single World Championships next to my mother, because she no matter where I went, she always came and make sure she was there cheering me, whether it was crying because I was not doing good or whether it was celebrating because I was actually doing well. But when it comes to relationships and coming from a different country, I always say, to everybody, make sure you keep your friends as close as you can, your mentors as close as you can. I was lucky enough to have someone pick me from football practice and say, you're gonna row. So after a couple World Championships, I was able to qualify for the 2008 Olympics. Didn't do too well, came in 8th, super depressed for a while. Even they were like, oh, you actually went to the Olympics. I'm like, well, I actually came in 8th, so it doesn't really matter. My mother was always like, oh yeah, but you went to the Olympics. Fast forward, kept training, moved to San Diego for a little bit, for about 3 years to keep training with the team. That's where the training center was. And then was able to make the World Championship every single year after that. Actually, in 2010, I was named by the U.S. Rowing Association as best rower in the U.S., even though I was Peruvian. But it was quite an honor for me. Back then, I was still like, just row, like, that's all you have to do. When I got back in 2012, after the 2012 Olympics, wow, we're almost at the 2020 Olympics. I'm getting old. But when we came back from the 2012 Olympics, it's like, what now? You're an amateur. You're an amateur athlete, so you don't get a lot of money. So we came here on a family reunion. My brother and I was like, what are we doing next? Like, what should we do? Should we get a bar, a lounge? And my mother goes like, how about a food truck? Start small. So that's when Peruvian Brothers started. What do we miss the most? Peruvian food. We didn't have it here. So we started with the first Peruvian food truck. And all of a sudden, the years go by, we get the first Peruvian Brothers food truck, the second, the third. We opened a catering company. We started a hot sauce line. where we get to help women artisans in the mountains of Peru by buying those little chuyo hats, these little hats that we actually put on the hot sauces. And all of a sudden, people are like, hey, you know, so talk to me. Like, tell me how you started. Tell me how you did it. Tell me your mistakes. Tell me how to become somebody that is successful. And to this point, I don't consider myself somebody that is successful. I consider myself somebody that works really hard. When they ask me, who do you hire? I don't hire only Peruvians. I hire people that really want to work and really want to be part of a team. When I tell the people that we work together, they're like, oh, boss. I'm like, no, I'm not your boss. We're all part of the team. And that's the one thing that every time I talk to someone that wants to work with us or wants to work for somebody else, you know, make sure whatever you do, you want to be part of a team. You don't want to feel like you don't belong to somewhere, especially when you come from a different part of the world, whether it's Peru, whether it's Syria, Sri Lanka, whether it's anywhere in South America, anywhere in the world, and you come into the U.S. Yeah, it is the life of the freedom. It is the life of the free. But you have to belong to whatever you're doing, you know. And with that, you know, that's the one message I wanna leave that tonight in my last couple minutes, because they were telling me to time out. I'm glad I spoke for this long. You know, whatever you do, make sure you hang tight to the people that love you, because you know this world is tough. Everybody wants the best for themselves. Make sure you hang tight to the people that you love. Make sure you cherish them, and make sure you always try to be part of a team, because it's going to help you get through every single day in a better way. Thank you very much for having me here.